I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, and you're watching 30 Days of me, Sonic, on Super Beanie-man Gaming.
In today's video at Studiopolis, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 vocal tracks in Sonic games. I'm going to try and leave out remixes because I'll just be here forever otherwise, because this is a really tough list. So let's get on with it. So for my number 10 pick, I've got a song that you could say was an instrumental one and not a vocal track, but for me, I've always considered it a vocal track because there is a significant amount of voice work in this, which is quite surprising really, considering it's a game that was on the DS. So for me, I really enjoyed Sonic Rush. I thought it was a great handheld game. Even though it was like a heavy boost sort of game, it still felt like Sonic, and it was just really cool to just speed through all the levels, and it had an absolutely awesome soundtrack. But for me, the best song on it, the one that stood out the most, was Back to Back on, which I think it was the Wave, is it Wave Ocean or something like that? Or Ocean Palace, something like that anyway. But it's such a great song, great use of vocals, even though it's a bit repetitive with just it constantly sort of saying back to back, it just works really well when you're tearing it through the level. And it's just a great little beat to it, and it just always pumps you up when you get to this level, and it's like, yes, I'm going to have fun here, and that is why it's my number 10 pick. My number 9 spot is from a more recent Sonic game called Sonic Forces, which I kind of felt was a bit disappointing, to be honest. It was kind of just a sort of meh Sonic game. It wasn't very memorable in terms of its gameplay and levels, but the one thing that did stand out for me was the game's title track, Fist Bump, which was performed by the lead singer of Hoobastank, which was that band in like the early 2000s that had that one sort of big song, is it Reason, I think it was. But anyway, this song is just really cool. It's one that just makes you want to fist bump your bro, because it's just like, yeah man, I'm ready, let's do this man. And the game was really effective in how they used this song, so you hear it quite a bit throughout. I think one level will have it at the intro, and you also hear it when you do your team move with your create a character buddy. It sort of kicks in the chorus straight away, and it plays it as that move is being used, and it just always stuck in my head. It's a bit of a cheesy song, but it's still cool, and I do like this song, even though the game it came from was a bit rubbish. My number 8 pick is Supersonic Racing from Sonic R on the Sega Saturn, and this song is admittedly very cheesy, and it's very sort of its time. It definitely has a 90s sort of vibe to it, and it's a completely different song to what you would normally hear in Sonic games nowadays. It has that sort of dance, sort of, I don't know, techno sort of dance element to it, and it just has that nostalgia factor for me. It might not be the best song ever, but it just has that heavy sort of nostalgia feel, because I remember when I first heard it, it was when I first saw the trailer on TV for Sonic R, and it had a few seconds of this song on it, and I just thought, oh my god, what is that? That's so cool. And I never actually had this game on the Saturn, because I never had a Saturn. It wasn't until years later when I finally brought one and got the game back. But I always remembered this song from Sonic R, despite never playing it, and it just always made me want to play the game, and I think that's worthy of getting on the list. So number 7 is Night of the Wind from Sonic and the Black Knight, and this has hands down one of the best sort of guitar sort of riffs on any of the Sonic tracks that I've mentioned here, because it's just so addictive. I think the it's just it just always gets me, and I always want to hear the song, and that's the main thing I remember from this song, just this guitar sort of chorus bit, and it's just great. The words are kind of corn dog as well, a little bit, in where it talks about like a sword undrawn to the heat of day kind of thing. So it's a bit of a weird song, but it just works. Everything just comes together, and I think it just works really well. Even it's like Forces as well. I didn't really enjoy this game, didn't really play it much, but I always remember the song, despite never completing Black Knight, only playing it for a couple of hours. This song still stuck in my head, and that just proves that it's a classic. Sonic Heroes has a great number of vocal tracks, and I really struggled to pick one for this top 10 list, but in the end I just had to pick What I'm Made Of, which is the final mecha whatever Godzilla type Metal Sonic boss fight track that plays during that battle, and it's just an absolutely kick-ass song. It's just really well done, even though the boss fight is a little bit bland in a way, like the environment that you're in, the look of it just seems a bit bare bones. This song, because basically it's just like clouds in the sky, this song just elevates this whole battle to a whole nother level, because it's just perfect. It feels really, really good, and it was one that just made me replay this end sequence over and over again, so I could spend a couple of minutes in the fight listening to this song. It's just really cool, and Crush 40 did a great job with this track. In at number 5 is It Doesn't Matter from Sonic Adventure 2. Now this is kind of, sort of, but not a remix of Open Your Heart from Adventure 1. It has a lot of similarities and a lot of lyrics that are kind of the same, but for me, I always prefer this version. It's less edgy, I'll admit that, and it is more cheesy, but I like this sort of upbeat pop sort of style to the song and what they did with this version. And I just think it suits Sonic more. It's cool, it's fun, it's bright, it's colourful, and that's what Sonic kind of is to me. And I just really like this song. It's a typical sort of Sega Blue Skies sort of song that you could see when Sonic's running out in the Green Hill and this is just blasting out. And I just really like it. It's very catchy, and I like the guitars on it and that. It's just great. I love it. It doesn't matter. I love it. My number 4 pick is another song from Sonic Adventure 2, Escape from the City, which plays in the first stage of the game. And this is one of the reasons why I have played the first stage in Sonic Adventure 2 countless times, because like with Heroes and the final boss fight, it meant that I got to spend a couple of minutes in the level listening to this song, because this came out before the days of like YouTube, so you couldn't just go onto the internet and take a listen to the song somewhere, and it wasn't like it was a track that was going to be on MTV that you could just watch that channel and hope it eventually come on. So if you wanted to listen to it, you just had to play the game again and again, and it's just perfect. It's a perfect opening song, and it's perfect for this level. Everything just works really cool about it, and I just love this song, and I could just play this level over and over again listening to this track. It's just great, and I still think it works when you listen to it without playing the game and just jam into it yourselves. It's just the perfect track. Number 3 is Sonic Boom from Sonic CD, the European and I think the American version, because the Japanese one had a different song that is also still cool, but for me this was the one that I grew up listening to. This was the one that when I first saw this brilliant animated opening, this is what I heard alongside it, so this one always has a bigger place in my heart than the other versions of the songs used for this intro. It's just a really cool song, and I absolutely love, I've got to say, the Crush 40 remixed version of this. It's so cool, but I didn't want to put loads of remixes on here, so I've gone with the original for my number 3 pick. It's just such a cool song. Sonic Boom, oh, just great. I love it. It's just cool, and maybe the reason why I like it so much is because of this animated intro. Maybe if I never had this animation to hear the song alongside, maybe I wouldn't like it as much, because it is a bit 90s cheese, but I still think it's cool, and it's not as rock heavy as some of the later sort of songs that came with like Adventure and all those, but it was the first time I really heard a proper vocal tracked Sonic song, and it was a song about Sonic, and I just thought it was really cool. So again, the nostalgia is playing a big factor in where this has been placed on the list, but you've got to admit, it is awesome, especially with the animated intro, and that's why it's my number 3 pick. So just missing out on the top spot is Live and Learn from Sonic Adventure 2. So this occurs during the final final boss battle in the game, where you play as Supersonic and Super Shadow to take down the final Hazard prototype of the ultimate life form. So this is just absolutely bleeding epic. You hear teases of this song throughout the game on the menu screens and all sorts, but you only ever really hear it kick in properly with the vocal track during this end sequence, and it is just absolutely perfection. It just works so well. It's a brilliant song for this battle, and the song is the reason why I played this battle over and over again, just like the first level and just like the one in Heroes. When you have a great song, a kick-ass song, you just want to replay those levels again and again to hear it, because it was the only way to hear it back then. And I just always remember the first level and this last level from Sonic Adventure 2, mainly because of the music that was playing for those two stages. It's just great. It's one of the best ones, I think, out there for Sonic. It's just such a cool song, and I think also it's a song that you could listen to if you wasn't a Sonic fan, and I think that shows you that it's the mark of a good song and not just one for Sonic fans, and that's why it's my number 2. So before we get to the number 1 spot, we need to have some honourable mentions, because I have missed out a lot of classics here. So, yes, Sonic has so many awesome songs. There is the Sonic Heroes theme, which I think is really catchy, and maybe was just missing out on the top 10 spot. His World from Sonic 06 is also a really good track, but I in particular love the Crust 40 remix version of that song. If we were to include other Sonic medium, the Sonic Satam thing would have to be included, because that is an awesome song too. Open Your Heart from Sonic Adventure 1 is also another great track. There's the Colours theme, Reach for the Stars, and the end credits song that plays that I forget what it was now. There are just so many. Knuckles' songs, the rap ones, they're just so great, but I just couldn't include them all here. It was just a really tough video to make this, to get it down to 10. But I needed to shout out a few of these in particular, because Sonic just has so many great songs. So if your favourite's not there, just know that I probably love that song too. So with that out the way, let's find out what my number 1 pick for best Sonic vocal track is. It's Endless Possibility from Sonic Unleashed. I love this song, and I am always singing this song. I just think it's fantastic. I even have on my PlayStation profile the line, "This is my escape," because this song was just great, and it just, I don't know, just really clicked with me. I just thought it was a great track. It's performed by the Bowling for Soup guy, which I forget his name now. I think it's like Jared something. Apologies if you're watching, you're most likely not. But it's just great. I think he does a brilliant job with the vocals, and it's just cool. I liked Bowling for Soup anyway, so I think that helped as well. It's just such an awesome song, and the way it just kicks in at the end when Sonic is running and Tails is chasing him in the plane, the credits just start coming up and you just hear the song. It's just great. And I love the instrumental versions throughout the game as well. It's just a really cool theme song, and I think, again, like Live and Learn, it's a song that you can listen to away from the games, even if you're not a fan of the games, because it's a great song in its own right, and it's always one that's upbeat, cheery, and positive and bright, and it just encapsulates everything I think about Sonic and his character into one really, really awesome song, and I love it, and I could listen to it again and again and never get bored. So that's my favourite. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.